New Jersey, Nashville, 69-70 on the rotation here. Nashville minus 200. The total 5.5 shaded to the over minus 115. There's really not much to say about this game. I'm not fading Nashville at home. I did that once with Dallas in what I thought was a tough spot for Nashville off that road trip, which they swept. And I got my teeth kicked in because of it, taking Dallas that night. And I said, nope, it's the last time I'll be betting against Nashville at home anytime soon. Won't be tonight either. New Jersey, we've talked about it, slumping a little bit. When you shut down Taylor Hall, it seems you shut down this team offensively right now. That's the way it's gone for the Devils. Don't trust them here to get a win on the road against this surging Nashville team. So total, not much of an opinion either. So not really anywhere to go with that one. Last game to wrap up the card, Minnesota, Edmonton, 71-72. We've got Minnesota on a second night of back-to-backs, by the way. They did play in Vancouver last night. We're able to pick up a 4-2 win there. Minnesota's laying about minus 115 to minus 120 here on the road. Total 6 shaded to the under in the minus 120 to minus 125 range here in this hockey game. Minnesota Wild, the big names are starting to score goals for them. You like to see that. Parise got on the score sheet last night in the victory against the Vancouver Canucks. Minnesota started at least a little bit to find some sense of traction playing on the road. They've been a little bit better lately away from home to the tune of 4-2 their last 6 road games. So that's been a little bit better for Minnesota. They come into this game on a 3-game win streak, wins over not great teams other than Carolina, but Detroit, Vancouver, Carolina for those 3 wins, taking on Edmonton. Edmonton, obviously disappointing season, no question. Not the season they were hoping for, but the effort has still been there most nights. I mean, Nashville, you lose at home 4-2, but you battled them tough. No real shame there. Rangers was a weird game there, but you lose 3-2. Arizona win in overtime. Islanders win in a shootout 2-1. So a lot of up and down results for the Edmonton Oilers. So I think from my perspective, even though Minnesota on the second night of back-to-backs, I'd still trust them a little bit more. Not going to get involved, but a lean here at least to the Minnesota Wild. I got enough, bets on other games. This one, what really wasn't something I loved, but I'd lean ever so slightly here to the Minnesota Wild. Let's go to Alex B. Smith. That's his right now where his current residence is, Minnesota. He's got the bead on the Minnesota Wild here as they take on the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously gets a lot of coverage with them being where he is. Wild and Oilers, Alex, what do you see happening tonight here?
Well, a little worried about back in the Wild here with the second night of back-to-backs. They're 4-7 in that spot so far this year, but this is a team that they've dominated over the years. They've won 5 last 8 meetings, and they've won 13 of the last 18 meetings against Edmonton. They're rolling hot right now, as you said. They're playing, beating, like I said, at this time of year, especially a team right on the cusp of being either the 3rd team in the division and securing a playoff spot against a second place team, or having the jumble within that wild card mix. Points are a premium. So Minnesota at a short price here against the Edmonton team that's just kind of trying to play out the string and finish the season out with some pride. I'm going to look at Minnesota here. I think they should be able to get the job done tonight, and I think we're getting a pretty good price of them. So I like the Wild on the road.
All right, Minnesota for Alex B. Smith. A special welcome to Druzilla in the chat, who's come down from the Gabe Morency late night anger management world, and he's come into our very, very early morning NHL Ice Guys world. So welcome to Druzilla in the chat there, joining us here. Andrew McGinnis, he's also involved in the Wild and Oilers game. Andrew, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, plain and simple, guys. I know the Oilers have tried to turn things around, and their top 2 lines and some of their top guys have tried to step it up, tried to finish this season strong, have some pride, look pretty good. But ultimately, this Minnesota Wild team is a better hockey team than I've seen them play in a long time. They're playing some solid hockey right now. I used to classify them as an under team, guys, because they were always a great team defensively. But all of a sudden, they're putting up some solid numbers. They're finding a way to score left and right, and everyone seems to be clicking. I think it's going to be just in time for the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to see how they do moving forward. But yeah, like I said, guys, the trends right now point towards them. And but most importantly, guys, the way this Oilers team is playing right now, you have to look at it, because over the past couple of weeks, and even after the trade deadline, we notice the teams kind of take that little break. They kind of relax for a second and realize that all the players that are getting traded are gone. Everything's kind of settled down now. But the biggest thing is that they have to finish the season strong, because they don't know what's going to happen in the summer. They don't know how the season's going to finish. But I truthfully think no matter what, their defensive game is just far, far too weak for this Minnesota Wild team. I mean, the Wild know how to take care of the puck. They don't make dumb turnovers. They don't lose the puck in their own end. They just play a strong hockey game. They get pucks deep. You know, all the cliche terms you hear from hockey coaches, that is the Minnesota Wild. I mean, they don't do anything too flashy. I mean, I'm not saying you won't find them on the highlight tapes every now and then, but you know, you hear about this Minnesota team being great, being a good hockey team, but you don't hear about all these exceptional highlight reel plays and all this stuff happening from their top two lines. I mean, you just hear about them taking care of business. That's exactly what I expect out of this team that's 8-2 in the last overall, guys. I think this is just an easy win for the Minnesota Wild. I think that Edmonton is an exciting team, but they don't take care of things defensively. They got a couple, you know, hot players offensively, but Minnesota's way too much for them right now. I'm on that Minnesota money line.
Yeah, that's the conundrum for me with this game. Minnesota is clearly the better squad. It's a more than reasonable price to back them. Minnesota to me is one of those teams that on the back-to-back, I know I bet them once or twice, not often, but over the last year and a bit, and it hasn't always worked out well, so I'm fearful of that, and that's the one thing sticking in the back of my mind, but they are the better team. I don't fault anyone for taking Minnesota, and Alex and Andrew are indeed doing just that, taking Minnesota. I'm just asking the better team, even on a back-to-back spot on the road, to just get the job done. They're looking at the Minnesota Wild tonight, minus 115.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.